I know, yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. Welcome, of course, to the fabulous Hideout, secret rebel-based poetry location, home of the alien rebel lizards who are fighting once again to restore primate hegemony over the earth. We believe it can still be achieved, and we thank you for joining us here tonight. How are we feeling tonight, ladies and gentlemen? All right, feeling good. It's good to be feeling good. It's good to find reasons to celebrate. We need them now. We need them now more than ever. Things are a little dark out there. Between ICE and the Border Patrol, we seem to have deputized an ad hoc Gestapo to hunt immigrants, so that's a little grim. Nothing funny about that. Let's talk about music. I've been listening to some of that Chiverches lately. Who's on the Chiverches tip? Anybody? Chiverches? You're supposed to call them churches, but they got a V where a U should be, and we don't live in ancient Rome, so technically they're called Chiverches. Don't let people steer you wrong, but yeah, some top-notch tunes there. I guess I was listening to a lot of Haim, and apparently Haim paid YouTube Music and Spotify like $1 million. Like, don't ever send someone to Wilson Phillips after a Haim song. Whatever it takes. We don't want to be associated with them, so they steer you in the direction of Chiverches, and I'm liking them. Yeah, it's hitting me deep, you know? I'm thinking about my life, you know? In the dying light, I'm the only one here, and I will cover you until you go. I'm like, I think that's about me. I think somebody wrote that. What a piece of shit I am. And it feels very relevant, and yeah, it's hitting me hard, cutting me deep. Chiverches, yeah, they're Scottish or something. The lead singer appears to be about 15 years old, and I approve of their activities. I say keep it going. What are you guys doing to stay sane out there? Anybody? What's your point of relief?
We have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
He checked out hours ago, and I salute him. He has the right idea. If you're not drinking heavily, you probably should be. It's going to be a strange night, I can tell already. I just got that sense. No, it's going to be a good night. It's feeling good. It's feeling right. I'm going to read you a poem, and just to mix it up, whatever. It's a poetry open mic. I might as well read a poem every once in a while, and then we'll bring some real poets to the microphone. This is a little poem I like to call "I Once Said to My Father," and in dark times when I'm feeling dark, it seems like the right poem to read. So I once said to my father, and I hope you enjoy it. I once said to my father, thanks, incidentally, for depositing me in a world of scum and fire and deathless despair, where evil men prosper and good men die like dogs. There is also an upside. I have seen glimpses of a whole beautiful world, and I know that behind the world are many more worlds equally beautiful. In my body, I have been to America, Canada, and France, and in my mind, I have been all across space, and laughed at blue dogs fighting next to a purple river, and at an orange octopus sneezing and upsetting a flock of semi-transparent prismatic birds, whose flight caused a black tree made of hollow circles to wake with consternation, and then sigh and fall back asleep. I have flown into a black hole just to feel myself get ripped apart, and see if I get to be reassembled. You are so lucky to be in pain. You are so lucky to be tired on the train on your way to work. I have watched as God made the world, and crushed it for being a terrible mistake, and then uncrushed it for being still so full of unrealized beauty and naked dreams, sucking up blood with a syringe and shooting it back into our bodies, soaking floodwater up off the continents with an old rag, smoothing out the rough edges, believing mountains and valleys as a reminder that this is an early, fumbling attempt at art, that only soggy sentimentality keeps us on the shelf with the other paper globes. I have also seen him burn the world and laugh until he cried. I have also seen him draw a face in the ashes, but I could not see what the face was saying. I know the world was given to me to fix or ruin as I see fit, and I see fit to do a little of both until I settle on which version of myself I like more. You were made to amuse me, but I was also made to amuse you. The color of the world is blue, like the moon is when you look away from it. In the forest, there is no real peace. And in the city, there is no real business. Only hundreds of places to get things stamped, and hundreds of places to get a drink. I have discovered I can drink infinite whiskey if I intersperse water, and remember to act composed for the bartender. It helps if the air is cool and moving, and there is dancing, the thing places advertise with white knuckles, never sure if the ship is really coming in. Awaken, old gods! and smile on my selfish journey. I may be the only one still worshiping the Greek and Roman gods, like an old man on an X-Files that never got around to being written. Blink and you're gone. Blink and you're back again, only changed, with no memory of the way you were. And it was always like this. As I once said to my father, and I hope you enjoyed it.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, folks. And up next, as promised, I'm going to bring a real poet to the microphone. I give you a gentleman, a scholar, a real mensch, not to mention the leader of the rebel alien lizards, the man fighting to restore primate primacy to this once ape-ruled, now lizard-controlled planet of ours, the man who looked at the lizard dominance and said, no, it's time to stand up for these monkeys. They have a right to determine their own monkey lives. So I give you Mr. Gregorio Gomez.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it. Let's give it up for Doug Two Pistol Power, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I am that leader. I shall not fear evil. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here this evening. We're being cast all around the nation, ladies and gentlemen, all around the world. Hey, everybody. Edith from Mexico City. Hello, how are you? These are poems that I think I wrote. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But what the hell? The first was titled Utopian Fantasy. Dream into the morning light as hot embers aflame your passion and drown your crimson lips, 1,000 eyes that cross your path. Dream into the morning light, castles in the air, a utopian fantasy, cloud cover horizons, a nature breeze. You hold like crystal on your fingertips. Dream into the morning light, swans intertwine, eternally dance, a ballet of romance upon an emerald lake. The lavender aroma enscrolled the mystic air. Dream into the morning light, a furrow in the chronological essence, undulating the universal balance where your presence stands at a distance, letting a dozen doves to flight. Dream into the morning light. Thank you.
That's indeed.
You can go there if you like. I'm good with that. You didn't think I saw that, huh? Sorry. That's cool. I was talking with my good friend Victor outside, and I happened to mention, he says, are you going to read? Well, hell, if I'm going to come here, I might as well read. If I'm going to kill time, I might as well be here. I said, yeah, you know, I was thinking about an old flame. And then the morning after, Friday morning, I opened up my phone. I'm looking at Spotify, I'm listening to some jazz, have my coffee, and her picture popped up. Isn't that kind of, one of those kind of weird things where you don't expect, and her picture popped up. May she be okay in the Czech Republic with her fucking new husband and shit. Hope you're watching. I sent her a message. I sent her a message says, I'm going to read this poem for you. Better watch. No, she's cool. I love her to death. It's titled With a Photograph. I fell in love with a photograph. It was your photograph from some time ago. The radiances you perpetuated perplexed me. The brilliance of your eyes mesmerized me to immobility. You spoke in a language I was not permitted to understand. I could not tell if it was fall or spring, dusk or dawn, windy or calm. Your photograph was not being too revealing, keeping secrets hidden in the abstract of its nature. Notwithstanding, you whispered to me. Your words swam through my mind like electric eels in the ocean waters. I know I fell in love with a photograph. It was you. It has always been you. Who else could it be? I clearly hold you in the depths of my heart. You with the copper dark hair shining beneath the cobalt blue moonlight. No one else can smile, holding your life in her fingertips as she slides a scalpel down your chest and squeezing your heart gently. Yes, it's you. The aroma of té de canela is unmistakable as you pass by, flashing your emerald green eyes of mulata. It's you with that shy look as you walk towards me to plant a kiss upon my lips with a taste of onions. It's always been you. I fell in love with a photograph. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You're all here today. Let's get our big back to the gunpowder.
Mr. Gregorio Gomez, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for him. Always here to remind us how it's done. Always here with another fine kiss-off to a great ex-lover. Yes, indeed. You'd like Traverses for that reason. It's full of kiss-offs to past lovers.
Exactly.
Gregorio used to be the lyricist for Wilson Phillips as well. Some of my earlier remarks hit him a little hard. I was saying I like Wilson Phillips, though.
Yes.
It's, you know, someday somebody's gonna make you want to turn around and say goodbye. Yeah, it was beautiful. You did a good job. It was a lovely poem. I got a little lost in it for a moment. I forgot I was hosting, and I was like, shit, I gotta get up here and say some more bullshit. Bring somebody else up. So, speaking of bullshit, I have the following very true story about this next poet. I originally met him in the hills of Nicaragua, which is how I was told I have to say Nicaragua if I want to be considered a cool white person. So I'm doing what I can to keep up that reputation. And yeah, we were actually involved in Nicaragua's fledgling space program, also called NASA, ironically. Yeah, it was a little touch and go there at first, the first few years, but yeah, you know, we made something out of it, and they gave us a little corner of the International Space Station, and from there we launched an exploratory mission to the outer rings of Venus, where, fun fact, a small crab people live, and they actually ended up building idols of the two of us and worshiping them for many years. So we completely corrupted that culture, totally fucked up on that prime directive shit. We're letting it all fall by the wayside. So worst comes to worst, we got a retirement package already set. Go to those rings and be worshipped by small crab people. This next poet's poems may or may not have something to do with crab people living on the rings of Saturn. We'll see if he chooses to refer to it or not, or maybe they'll only be subtle allusions. We'll see how he chooses to play it. But I give you Mr. Miguel Marzana, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for him.
All right.
Feeling good, feeling right.
That's a blessing, though.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Tripping when you walk out on stage, seeing a black cat, getting spit on by a homeless man. These are all signs that your day's about to get better.
It's good to see you again, brother.
Good to see you, man.
There's room for us on Saturn.
I know, though. Fuck the lizard people, though.
Fuck the lizard people.
Fuck them.
God bless the crab people.
Yes.
All right.
Wait a minute, the lizard people are my people. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, man, you're on the wrong side, though. That cannot be.
Exactly. Yeah, he's with the rebels. That's why we love him.
That's why I'm here, though.
Hi everybody, my name is Miguel Marzana. I was invited by Gregorio Gomez. This is the first time I'm here. And I also want to warn you that I do not speak English and I wasn't prepared to read any pieces in English. So I just made a quick translation outside of this poem.
Hey, you can put it in Espanol, but I don't
I
mind.
know.
We can Spanish speak. See, these three ladies here, They're Spanish teachers in their schools
Right.
back home in Wyoming.
Yeah, no,
That's
but
true,
I,
that's
I,
true.
I also enjoy doing my stuff in English once in a while and look terrible. So this next poem is called Prison. I've been to your neighborhood many times. I have gone by necessity, carnal, by car, by bus, cycling. I have gone many times for weed, but only twice for your poetry. They have written in my face, Illuminatum, Tenebrarum, Delinquent, in the reverberation. I paid the lawyer I went to buy and sell behind the public library and dissipated myself. I went to pierce my ears and I grabbed another case in your same fucking neighborhood. My soul commands a small revolution in the streets that smell like tortillas. And when someone whistles, I realize that I was born and died a few times more. And from my little book of poems, this is called Moonwalk. Evaporo, me tiro al charco. Sabías que en la profundidad del agua el hedor del fondo no me cambiaría. Cuando vuelvas, dejaré el escuadrón de mortandad, porque nada tiene lugar. ¿Qué pasa aquí? Todos saben, tú lo sabes, ellos saben, yo no. Habité aquel espacio y la forma en que sentí, liberado de lo más cool de toda mi vida, tuve miedo de tu piedra. Entonces mis ojos se volcaron y la mente me violó con instrumentos instantáneos. Me pidió volumen, porque no encuentro lugar o presupuesto y casi nunca duermo. Pero la idea de tus ojos bien abiertos me hace venir a lo que sabes, a lo que ellos saben, a lo que todos saben. Me miras con curiosidad, la desigualdad cose mis párpados igual que se han surcido las calcetas. Te arranco un ojo como la página prohibida de mi libro favorito, porque no quiero verlo llorar, apurado al ruido blanco, sin pecados, casi natural, sordo como las piedras del río, porque ya tú sabes, todos saben, ellos saben, menos yo. Te fuiste con machete y con paraguas a buscar quién sabe qué, sin lluvia, sin sol, nublado por saber, tal vez porque lo más cool no entiende que dejando todo es cuando se muere y se atraviesa en Almagesto. Dejar la gracia de un escopetazo en la cabeza, como Kurt Cobain y esta historia joven, mientras jalo y jalo mis miembros en el polvo y mientras el queso me derrita en su capilla de flores. Ausente, no me juzgues antes que pronuncie una palabra. Estático, carente de guerra y de negrura del cisne que difamas. Escarbo un hoyo, flota el cielo, un agujero, 4 cántaros, mientras me frío y me duelo porque sé que todos saben. Ellos saben, pero tú no. Hay una pelota, un avión de papel, una bala de plata que lacera mientras se cuida lo nacido y se muere una y otra vez. Te recuerdo tu piedra, tu cebolla, los círculos que no te pueden ocultar de tan marcado y negro tejido, porque mucho pago la vida peligrosa en esta transfiguración y las ferias de libros. Genuflecto, te pido lo más cool de toda tu vida, de lo que todos saben, nadie sabe, pero todos saben, yo tampoco, ¿y tú? The last poem from the cell phone, this is so cheesy. Unas curiosidades se han llevado la niñez perdida. Las manzanas descolgadas no postulan nada. Siguen los amaneceres. Cierro los ojos sollozando entre la penumbra y tanta lucecita. Veo a Einstein en el autobús. Se lame los labios. Arregla su mostacho y aleja la mirada. Gracias.
All right. All right.
Miguel Marzano, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for him. Beautiful, beautiful, lovely pieces. As always, of course, we are multilingual open mic, so whatever language your heart's speaking in tonight, come on up here and tell us about it. Yeah, I actually pretend to speak Spanish, so I understood all of that perfectly. But I've always believed that the way that the sounds of the letters are arranged is just as important as what's being said. The musicality of the words, I think, is just as important, sometimes more important than the explicit meaning, if you will. And there's some word for that. It's not alliteration, it's not assonance, but there's some word for it. Someone will find it for me. I'll Google it a little later and we'll sort it out. But yeah, that was beautiful. I've also always believed you can get a sense of a person's soul from their poems, which is why for many years I refused to allow this show to be videotaped until Gregorio threatened to take the show from me and give guest hosting duties to my rival, Chad Waspinghouse, and I could not allow this. So I repented, I relented. I'm allowing pieces of my soul to be stolen and distributed on YouTube, and it feels good, actually. I feel like a commodity for the first time in my life. I say things like, that's very on brand for you, and ooh, gotta raise brand awareness of this Doug Power brand I'm working on here. It's a hot new commodity, only 30 years old. Yeah, feels good, feels right. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a young man, a scholar, a gentleman gangster. I originally met him when we were both gun running the streets of Paris, France, during the Third French Revolution, which was actually just last August, people forget. It was not widely publicized. They didn't really do a good job of getting the word out, and it was mostly 3 or 4 guys drinking, wearing berets in a bar. But I thought we made a big impact, and I think that Macron, he walks in our shadow. He's got to live up to us, not the other way around. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who cleaned himself up, got his life together just in time for me to have completely reneged on all the things I said I would do in AA. But he's still holding the flag up. He's still keeping it together. Let's give it up for him, Mr. Dan Perlman, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks. There's a lot going on here. Death to the lizard people, I should say.
Yes, indeed. Only the lizard hegemony, though, not the lizard rebels.
Right. Well, yeah.
The lizard rebels are fighting for us.
Sure. Sorry. I forgot what we learned in Paris.
It's a complicated storyline. It's fine.
Yeah. No, we won't make that mistake. Okay. Well, this is a poem about a bird. It's not the first time bird has been mentioned tonight. There's also a picture of a bird in that large book. It's not accent. There's more birds. So, it's called Visitation of the Omen Bird. Before the fourth visitation, I refused it, and it refused me gladly in turn. I speak, of course. I am yet spared. I howled in laughter that time, faded to a snicker rustling in gray, like what we usually say of it, murmur, not a peal of clear sound, even as it dipped and warbled, its shoulders that time, resplendent in hues of crimson. Did it show up just to shriek? Apart from the free society, of course, its area was crushed, evenly broken shards scattered across the grass. Meanwhile, I hadn't laughed more than a few times at it, I think. Baldly, I muttered atrocities at the skirt of the situation, a low kind of carnival, an epoch of ill repose, inaugurated automatically. The throng in recess in the clearing, I fitfully tended to my scabs, ruining the thought. It had flapped away to render the morning macabre. I still carry a tombstone in my pocket, of course. This turn was no eternity. It was grotesque. I could not say things about things. There was perhaps a quiet solace in thoughts, just not these.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make sure that I introduce back to the microphone Mr. Dr. Pistol Power, who is doing an excellent job, keeping this thing going and moving. Excuse me, sir. Get your ass over here. No, disrespecting you guys out there. Come on, bro. He was getting drinks, he was peeing or something like that.
Mr. Gregorio Gomez, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't want to interrupt your mid-riff, man. That would be, that would be against the Poet's Code and the Lizard's Code, all in one go there, yeah. I put out a call for the most long-winded poets that we could find, but unfortunately, we always get the succinct ones. And I'm like, guys, I need time to go buy drinks. This carefully edited, thoughtful works here. Yeah, man. But yeah, this next poet, we actually studied at the same school, the Bibliothekam House School for the Performative Arts. We learned how to be better people, or better facsimiles of people, whichever comes easier in the moment. So, my name am Doug, and this am Caroline Carlson. We very much hope you enjoy it good.
Let's give her a nice warm hand.
Therefore.
I have something old and a couple new. This one is called Loving You. An ocean lies between us, a gulf so vast and wide, the endless possibilities that could have been but never were. The same all the time, the almost impossible achieved, born from the hurts too deep for tiny words, the reflecting back across waters past, and the ripples across the sea. So mighty it seemed not so long ago, in a faraway space inside of my soul. How I wished and ached and hurt every time when you left me behind, to live, love, and laugh all alone. There are no more words to help explain the loss I feel inside. Just know that I tried with all of my heart, and every tear cried, how I longed to belong only to you, and gave myself away, entrusting you with the precious gifts that only I could give, or so I thought. And now it's all gone. All that was built on this house of cards, blown away by the winds of truth and freedom from the hurts and the pain and all the shields built over time, come crashing down one by one until there are none that remain behind. As I look to the future, trying to climb up and out from all that has passed, I see no clear way and no wonderful plan, just me, all alone, all over again. Thank you.
All right.
This one is called Just Like Old Times. I have been hurt by the ones I made no promises to, but I have been hurt more by the ones who said I do. I have spent a lifetime, 50 years, puzzling through like a Rubik's Cube, twisting, turning each little colorful block, in agonizing despair, waiting to be aligned like the stars, above tear-stained eyes, searching the skies for a sign or a clue. But there is only dark, black and blue. My eyes hurt. I held tight to the ice cubes, or maybe it was a bag of frozen peas. I don't remember now. And then was a lifetime ago, when the young men made promises they would never keep. I kept silent most of my life until now, like shedding an old skin to become something new. I have peeled off layer upon layer, trying to break through. My arms hurt, tender and bruised, shades of red, like my shade covering me again. I can barely move, but my children must be fed. I am hungry too. Last one I did actually last night. It's called Current Status. Long before the World Wide Web, I lived a tangled life, snarled and caught by the sticky traps, invisible strings and strong hands tight around my neck, my arms, or my curly hair. I never liked my hair. Long, wavy curlicues, blowing free in the wind. It was the only piece of me that tasted freedom. Despite my dad's pleas, Jesus Christ, he would bark, don't you have a goddamn comb? He teased me often about my hair, while I teased, sifted, and combed through every moment of my life. It's complicated. I invented the status long before Zuckerberg was reborn. Out of the depths of all my suffering, aching confusion, beating angry fists against the insides of my existence. Sometimes existing was all I could do better. Someday I will do better. Like a daily mantra, practicing how to be brave and strong, eventually learning how to fight for more than my existence, for more than my survival, for more than even my children learning how to fight for me. But first I had to believe. I'm still working on that. It's complicated. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's keep it going, Miss Carolyn Carlson, ladies and
Gentlemen, still seeking, still searching, still looking for something a little different on the horizon. Those strange notes of pink and blue and green that we see sometimes on the horizon, and aquamarine, and a deep, deep gray that only comes over me when I close my eyes and look at nothing. Sometimes the world's a little too painful to look at, and I have to look at it with my eyes closed and have it described to me by our next poet. He volunteers for the blind, but he also volunteers for clinically depressed boys. And yeah, he lets me know what things look like, and you know, if I'm about to walk into somebody, you know, knock over somebody's drink or something, that's important. Because if you knock over somebody's drink and get the shit kicked out of you, you may wake up even more depressed the next day. But he's here for me, and he's always here for us here at the Hideout with some lovely poems. Sometimes he shares a little stand-up with us, makes us laugh. Sometimes he reads us a poem and makes us cry. Sometimes he reads us a poem and makes us feel full in a good way. And other times we feel full in a strange way, like when you've eaten a hearty dinner, but then you're not really sure what it was made of. No, but all kidding aside, we enjoy this young man, and he's been good to us, and we try to be good to him. Mr. Victor Shock-Wee, give it up for him.
Hey, I'm working on it. Okay.
You know, it's actually working with Doug and the Blind give me this irrational fear that you only have so many words that you can say in this life, and then it's over. You know, you have like 10,000 words you can say, and then once you say them once, the three walls of the stage fall down, and then the real play begins. You guys know what I'm talking about? There are mushrooms over there. All right, so this one is untitled. Se le dio sed pero no supo por dónde ir, siempre persiguiendo sus proyecciones debajo de la luna y el sol, solo él, en mi voz, pero se le escucha con silencia, inexplicables sugerencias rodeando dentro mis entrañas, siento como si quiero gritar, pero sé que nomás quise mover mis labios, la voz en voz. Thank you.
All right.
Someone read a poem about a bird, and it just felt like I should say this one again. I really like it. It's called A Caged Bird. I remember standing by my window when I first heard you sing this song. I'm pretty sure. A beautiful melody as you puffed your feathers and filled your lungs. Perched atop a tree is where I first saw you, and I knew you had to be mine. That song, I heard it until I could no longer hear it, until I could no longer share it with the world, and I knew you had to be mine. And so I did, little bird. I put you in a copper cage and I polished it until it shined, matched that of yours, and you were content. And you sang and sang and sang. And then one day, you no longer did. The copper rusted and your plumage frayed, and you no longer spread your wings or shine like the very first day. But when I set you free, oh, did you soar? You soared so high, you disappeared, outshining even the mighty sun. And as you came back down, back to my window, I heard you sing your song one more time. That was the last time I heard you sing your song, little bird. So it became a ritual to wait for you by my window. Although I don't see you anymore, the wind carries your tune. And when it blows, I close my eyes and I listen, little bird. You never belonged to me or anyone. The world belonged to you. You're no longer caged, little bird, and yet your song lives with me, echoing with the wind within every ray of sun. I hear, I see, I love. I no longer wait for you because when I close my eyes, I hear the tune. And I realize now, little bird, oh, how I know you're here, you're everywhere. And just like you were once free, little bird, as am I, after all, I got to hear your song. I'll join you soon, little bird, and before I'm done, I hope my song now finds you. We are small birds in another life. Thank you. This last piece, I had actually written it like maybe a month and a half ago. I was supposed to come read it, and then for some reason I decided to do stand-up, and it was just like, just like crass jokes and whatever. But
I felt good about it.
Well, anyway, like the serendipitous nature of like what's been going on with me the past like week is kind of it's right to like say this, and it's all about like what brought about me saying this poem tonight was like goodbyes and I don't know. Sometimes it's really hard to say goodbye, and other times you wish you had said goodbye, and so I'd like to dedicate this one poem to someone very, very special. And it's not goodbye, it's more like a thank you. So it's called Inti, which is the Incan sun god. Today I got up to open my window and the moon died and you came out. I tried to look for you. You shone the mute colors between my fingers as I caught you underneath a book. You left the page dog-eared, so I read what you were reading and it freed me. Today I rode my bicycle to the beach, and I swear I felt you as a hint on the seashore playing with the kids, kicking the ball around. I tried to look for you. Underneath the shadows of your favorite tree, an abstract object without form, without line. I fell asleep. I dreamt that I was swimming in your eyes. You remain intact. Today I heard your voice in a conversation between two birds as I chased them until their wings engulfed you and the two disappeared into your shoulders. Again, I fell asleep beneath your shadows. Tonight you died and the moon came out. Laying in my bed, I kept thinking, retracing my steps, reliving my memories. A day full of smiles. It made me remember to look for a moment, to look for the sun and you. Thank you. And so that poem was actually translated from Spanish, which is like way better. So I'm gonna read that and then I'm up. Hoy me levanté a abrir mi ventana. La luna moría y tú salías. Y te traté de buscar. Brillabas los mudos colores entre mis dedos. Te caché debajo de un libro. Dejaste la página doblada. Leí lo que estabas leyendo y me liberó. Hoy manejé mi bicicleta a la playa y te juro que te sentí como una pista en la orilla del mar, jugando con los niños, pateando la pelota y te traté de buscar. Debajo de las sombras de tu árbol favorito, un objeto abstracto, sin forma, sin línea, me quedé dormido y soñé que estuve nadando en tus ojos. Permaneces intacta. Hoy escuché tu voz entre la conversación de dos pájaros. Los perseguí hasta que sus alas lo cubrieron y los dos se desaparecieron en tus hombros. Otra vez me quedé dormido bajo de sus sombras. Hoy noche morías y la luna salía. Acostado en mi cama seguí pensando, retrasando mis pasos, reviviendo mis memorias. Un día lleno de sonrisas me hiciste acuerdo de buscar un momento para buscar el sol en ti. Thank you.
Mr. Victor Chagui, let's give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Feels good. Feels right. Hearing from Mr. Victor tonight. This next poet is an old friend. We actually go back to some time I spent in Italy. I was actually wandering the streets, those old paved cobblestone streets. Well, they're cobblestone streets. They can't be both paved and cobblestone, can they? But I was seeing things on a couple different levels at once. I was seeing the future and the past and the present all at the same time. I made the mistake of consuming some 2CI. I saw it on the ground in a bag marked 2CI, and I ingested what was in the bag I found on the ground, as is my custom. I broke a promise to my father, actually, who once made me promise never to consume a drug that there wasn't already a street name for. He said, "There's only a chemical name for it, son. You need to let other people try it first before you get involved." But I didn't take that advice, and I wandered the streets, battling demons and dragons. I kept asking people if they had a sword I could borrow. No one did. I stumbled into a church, stopped into a church, as the mamas and papas would have it. Although when the mamas and papas stopped into a church, they probably didn't throw up in the communion water. Communion water? Something like that? No, it's, there's water in a Catholic church, right? But what do they use it for? What's that water for?
Holy water.
Holy water, thank you. They probably didn't throw up in the holy water. I sure did. And this next young lady could have had me sent to Italian prison, which is a rough place. You only get 3 spaghetti meals a day and only 1 glass of red wine at night. It's the worst part of Italy, Italian prison. But she didn't send me there. She told me there was hope for me. She gave me some nice Bible quotations to take home and told me to think them over. And I did, and I'm still a piece of shit, but I'm glad she's here tonight. And she actually left the sisterhood. She's going free now. She's running loose. Like a dog that's been let out of a car. You open the door and it just takes off. Fluffy, I thought you loved us. She didn't love you, Catholic Church, I'm sorry. But she does love the Hideout. She does love to share her poetry with you, and I hope you're going to love hearing from her. Miss Melina Vani Gonzalez, go for her.
I'm not from Chicago.
All right.
It's my first time ever reading.
Where you from?
You picked the right spot.
I'm from Ohio.
Ohio, all right.
And this is like the first poem I've written since like 9th grade, and also my second time reading it in front of other people. So it's also like kind of a bummer. So sorry about that. There's a Jewish tradition of laying stones on graves. It started in the desert, where people were buried after they died. People passing laid a stone on the burial site to say, I was here. And eventually, the living memory is replaced with a pile of stones. You filled me with the heaviness, but I am not sure if it was your heaviness or the heaviness of the world. You would tell me stories of hospitals exploding, the limbs of children littering the streets. You would tell me of the sounds of sirens, followed by crashes, that haunted you when you were so sick you almost died locked in your house with no company except for the 200 movies the video store owner gave you, hurried and exasperated when the store got bombed. You hoped the next one wouldn't hit you, or sometimes you hoped it would. Life is not beautiful, Habibi, you would always say to me. Your life is punctuated by a series of beatings. The ones from your father, specifically, the one that almost killed your mother, the image of her lying unconscious in a pool of her own blood, that made your brothers so angry they almost respected women, and led to your parents' third divorce, and fourth getting back together. Life is not beautiful, Habibi. The beating from your cousin, when he slapped you in warning for asking why there was a picture of the president on the bus, and told you that those were the words that made people disappear. Life is not beautiful, Habibi. The beatings from soldiers the day you saw the revolution flag in the mosque, the weeks on the streets, the months in exile. The beatings from the soldiers who disappeared your fiancé and then disappeared your whole family. Life is not beautiful, Habibi. The beatings from a police in a prison in Hungary, from the drug dealers in a camp in Greece, from the mafia in a forest in Serbia, from the neo-Nazis in a shelter in Germany. Life is not beautiful, Habibi. I fantasize about traveling the world and putting a stone on every grave to say, I was here. Or maybe just building giant piles of stones for everyone, heavy, looming monuments to death itself to say, I would be there if I could. Instead, I travel the world and take stones with me, little souvenirs of tragedy to remember and to repeat. You were here, you were here. I feel the weight of each one, enduring, immovable, inseparable. Your life is punctuated by a series of beatings. You would say you love me and then smack me, playfully, and apologize when I got scared. You would say you love me and destroy your apartment, break your things, throw objects my way, not playfully and without apology, a force of nature. Life is not beautiful, Habibi. Your story is not mine to tell, but now you've slapped it into me and I don't know what I'm believing anymore. I sit in cars and stare at the recurring lines the cornfields make, and I am filled with a comfort for which I feel guilty. I resent myself for not being able to hold the heavy, to take the blows and the slaps and the objects thrown in my direction. I resent myself for this more than I resent you for inflicting it on me. Your life is punctuated by a series of beatings, and you gave me each one like a desperate present, hurried and exasperated, a package of 200 traumas that play like a movie projected over my own, to keep me company in the wedge of time and force between us. Now I dream of children's limbs and Hungarian police, of bombs, of disappearing, a pile of stones for me to carry, reminding me that you were here too many times, a heavy, looming monument, but to what I'm not sure, enduring, immovable, inseparable.
All right.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Miss
Melina, let's give it up for her.
All right. First timer, all right.
Your wife's a first timer, and you picked the right place to make your debut.
Yeah.
We always like that.
She's gonna be famous, man.
I got a good feeling.
I am predicting tonight that by the end of the year, she will have 3 books published and will be named for a Pulitzer Prize.
I like those Pulitzer Prizes, yeah. I got 3 of them myself.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think the Pulitzer Prize is actually distributed from New Jersey. But you know, I mean, that's a respectable land. The land of many tasty foods.
Hey, Frank Sinatra.
The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Lots to like about New Jersey, yeah.
Mafia.
Robust mafia there, yeah, they're holding in, you know, they're holding it together.
Absolutely.
I live in Chicago, so of course I know there's no such thing as the mafia.
No, not at all.
And to keep my dumb
Or the
mouth shut. All these industries are legitimate. Labor unions, trash collection, these are up and up businesses. Good, resolute gentlemen who I have no issue with. Yes, very good. Everyone's doing a very good job. Good job, Chicago. The city that works. Such an unapologetic slogan. Like, it's the city that works. Don't fucking ask us how it works. You don't really want to know how it works. Nah, don't ask how it works. Just know that it's the city that works. It works. That's about all you need to know about that. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of somebody who works, speaking of somebody who gets it done, he's a poet, he's a lyricist, he's a musician, he's up, he's down, he's all around town, he's a metal man, he's an Iron Man, in the Black Sabbath sense and in the Marvel Cinematic Universe sense. He both saves the world from aliens and also knows how to rock the party. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for him. When Jay roars, people listen. Jay Rohr, here he is.
All right.
All right. Okay, how's everyone doing? Hey.
Good.
Do you have one of your green? I don't know what pie it's in. Now I'm really tempted to ask you to just stand there and hold it. So you gotta stand and hold it in my face.
That costs extra.
I need that money for later. Alright, so this first one is called Lazy River.
Wasn't that a song from the 40s? Oh, and Lazy River. Isn't that it?
You might have had a couple words in
Because that's what I do. It sounds romantic. It seems so bold. I'll be drinking whiskey until it makes me cold. Suddenly not 16, I'm getting old. Silver earned by 30, no chance for gold. Whoever I am is where I've been, but then again, the waterfall just won't be slowed, and there's no lust enough to seek another road. I'm meant for the river to swallow my load, but a happy little hollow is all that growed. Whatever I was, seated God in sin, the future is somewhere to begin. Water whittled my spine, made the steel erode, until my boat only goes where the current flowed. Yet I feel I'm changing, ask tomorrow I rode. For all I am, youth foretold, there's nothing in the past I've owed. Whoever I am is where I've been, but then again, the future is somewhere to begin.
All right.
Technology involved here. If this doesn't explode in my hand, I'd be amazed. Me and technology do not get along.
We're joining the 1990s here at Weeds Poetry at the Hideout. We're catching up.
You might start to catch a theme based on the title of this one. This is called Liquor Bottle Improv. I'm Irish. I have an excuse. I'm a walking stereotype.
You might as well be Mexican.
I'd be happy to be Mexican if I could get away with it. We threw a sea pearl in the Crow Canyon, then continued on with wild abandon. Walking the Fox Brook, marking west, then crowning the Royal, hoping the best. Did you hear the reserve say Woodford owned sapphires from Bombay? The half-acre from nowhere clear, the holiest heretic made us hear. The old pale rebel joke, Cigar City is going up in smoke, so have zero fear. The revolution must be near. Because that metropolis is a smoggy necropolis, smoldering proof of that and this, except the truth we all miss. Though bloody, ever onwards, a legion of arrogant bastards making good use of stars, wandering home to bars, trudging after graves, twilight gladly saves, for the walking dead seeking a bed, pirates led by the red fox, sailing ocean to sea through locks, oblivious to curses and pox, lobbed in Caribbean docks, arriving upon the equinox of the School of Bloody Knocks, glad to graduate to a pine box.
Yes, indeed. I forgot how to look that up.
Okay, and this last one, this is called Bad Will Love. Take me out with a blow to the knees, then swing that axe as you please. Cut my hands off, split my head, sever the spine, and put me to bed. I won't mind, you're the best I could ever find. Bruise any organs that you choose, I swear to God I can't lose. Amen, hey, then do it again. But never, ever warn me when. Take me between your thighs, then feel free to pluck my eyes. Break my teeth, tear my tongue, bury me deep and bust a lung. I won't mind because I'm fucking blind. Your pillow talk is a coffin call, but I swear I don't mind at all. Amen, hey, then do it again, but never, ever warn me when. Thank you very much.
Mr.
J. Roar, ladies and gentlemen, it feels good, it feels right. Let's give it up for him. Let's hear it for him one more time. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Sometimes one specific line will jump out at me, and tonight it was, that metropolis is a smoggy necropolis, which kind of puts me in mind of Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Deltron 3030 was a popular record at my dorm room. That metropolis is a funky necropolis. Anybody? Del? No? It's just me. It's just me over here with Del, the Funky Homo Sapien, and Chiburiches, and I'm all alone here. I'm all alone on a little island of weird music that only I Anyway, if you guys get a chance, Deltron 3030 by Del, the Funky Homo Sapien. It's a very timely record. We're going through a real sci-fi renaissance now with the Blade Runners and the Wars Among the Stars. Trekking to the Stars, all that shit that's going on, that fucking show they tried to have on Netflix, Carbon, Altered Carbon. It's a world where everyone's constantly shedding their sleeves or their bodies and getting new bodies, except for if the sleeve is like a principal actor on the series, then suspiciously it seems to hang around for a while. So their transhumanist fable was a little bit locked up by your basic casting decisions in Hollywood politics. But I appreciate what they were trying to do. I really did. Ladies and gentlemen, up next is a man who I've known for a few years. We did a tour together back on the fields of Mars. We were fighting to restore the Martian throne from the alien rebel lizard invaders. I know now I'm in league with the alien rebel lizards, but at the time there was some difficulties, and you know, we did the best we could. I tried to keep it powerful, he tried to stay in the green, and we just did what we could out there to stay afloat. If you gussy a bad pun up in like a lot of like sci-fi imagery, it's a little harder for the audience to realize how incredibly pedestrian is your main joke that you're hinging the whole introduction on. This is just a little taste of what I do up here, a little Insider Street director's commentary. Let's give it up for Mr. John Green, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh!
Tall man, I'm going to try to adjust this thing. I have to bring it up. That's it.
I thought you were
John Green, I see what you did there.
Yes, wasn't that clever?
Anybody ever been through a breakup?
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to my world. Right hand up, everybody, right hand up.
You're breaking up with this weird, beautiful woman next to you, man? And you brought her this poetry to break up with her? Wow.
If I say something you like tonight, everybody snap for me. Snap.
Huh?
Trying to work some things out. If you like it just in the middle of it, just snap. That way I'll click it. I can't let you know that I can't hardly breathe because I can't call you mine. But shit, I can't let you leave. And I can't figure out this hold that you got on me. I can't even tell you no. Wait, I really gotta think. What is it about this girl? She got me sneaking, making moves, got me breaking all my rules, and I know we shouldn't do this, but we did. The stakes are high, and I know we shouldn't risk it. Now she's telling me, be patient, because she wants to keep me waiting, and she's scared she'll lose my time. But attention from all the women really shouldn't make a difference when the truth is you're not mine. Plus, if we want to make this happen, we'd have been and got it cracking, and there ain't no reason why. So yeah, it hurts because it's the truth, but there's nothing else to do. So I guess this is goodbye.
Everybody's sure about me except you, and it's driving me up a fucking wall because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. See, we type, talk, text, hang out like every single day, and I promise I got an iPhone full of numbers that would love to spend the time that we waste. But for you, some sort of an addict. Not even looking for no cure. Looking for that next fix. Looking for that next kiss. Probably getting lovesick. And it sucks because when it rains, it pours. And all these other single ladies, we'll call them rain dots, starting to form a line. Try to toe that line because I had butterflies in a long time. I'm so excited about our potential future that I'm finally ready to let go of my past. Even though I know it's gonna hurt some. But I keep my mind off that by focusing on what your kisses taste like. Specifically, that first one. Yeah, she had me singing in color. Basketball fan, she had me clearing salary cap space that way. Kayla decided she wanted to play for Chicago, so I wrote that next contract. All right.
Got a good mind to like put on that full court press, but I ain't trying to create space until one of us gets crossed up and the other one fades away. So again, no pressure about what comes next. The fact that we can go from showering together one night to no call, no text, screams to me, this is just sex. And I'm a good dog, if you pet me, of course, but if not, it'd be hard to keep the boy under the porch. And what's really fucking me up is how you act like you ain't watched my plasma screen TV from my king-size bed. Like, I'm not 6'2", anatomically correct. I'm hung low, heavy structured, I'm blessed. And I'm about done hugging this cactus might give a woman that doesn't hug back. Because the tighter I squeeze, the more it hurts me. And fuck you, I'm better than that. So let me know something. Just let me go, woman. If I don't love myself enough to make you choose, how could I ever expect you to? Moral of the story is, givers set clear-cut boundaries, takers will refuse to. Thanks.
All right. Mr. John Green, ladies and gentlemen, it feels good. It feels right. You guys picked the right place to be tonight. We're serving some drinks. We're telling you some rhymes. We're doing our best to counteract the tenor of the times. These are fucked up snitch-ass times we're living in. Everybody's calling on everybody for everything. Everybody wants to let everybody know what everyone's up to. I was on a metro train, saw some people out the window drinking a little Miller High Life, you know, waiting for the train. Somebody's taking a picture of them to post on Facebook. That's not how you do it. You just have a little chuckle. Someone's enjoying a Miller High Life waiting for the train. It's mildly amusing. You don't need to share that. Get your idiot friends to like it and feel good about yourselves. You don't need their likes. You just be happy with yourself. Every morning, God gives you a big heart reaction. You take that heart react from God, that's all you need. Anyway, here was some counter-programming to my religious nonsense. I know you guys are getting tired of me proselytizing, always getting up here, telling you to trust Jesus and let Jesus take the wheel. Put the Virgin Mary in your passenger seat and do what you feel. See, if you really love God, your mind wouldn't have gone to that place. You would just assume the Virgin Mary's in your passenger seat to, navigate. She's your navigator. Anyway, a gentleman who knows of strange, far-off lands with strange silks and fibers and much aromatic incenses burned in these strange, far-off lands that he visits. A place that only he can take us to. I give you Mr. Alan McNair. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for him.
Not just yet.
No.
You beat your veggies.
So one of my books is called I Dream of Amherst. You can buy it on Amazon. I sold about over 3 dozen books of that so far directly myself. And then I have a second book from Checkered Cloth, a collection of poetry, which I wrote and illustrated, as well as my first book I wrote and illustrated. So here's one poem from that book and another one that I give up myself. Gray memory. Grandma's wrinkled skin of parchment, quiet whistle of her breath, her frail hand quivers slightly on her bed. Age quickly approaches with much stealth. Death is right outside her door. Gone are the remembered times of joy. Laughter at the table, cloudy swirls above mountains of sliced beef, orange carrots, pools of rich gravy that run down snow-white hills of creamy, lumpy potatoes. Silver slides across floral porcelain as the family catches each one's news. Under the covers, a one leg now only a specter, pain wails down the long homebound hallway. Death's poison-stricken leg remaining. Holidays wanted bright, homemade gifts and treats from Mama's smiling parents. Open the flower of my love. Love and sorrow enter. Family visits to say its last and silent goodbyes. Another world spreads before her. Her soft blue eyes see heaven alone. Grandpa sits in prayer. His heart beats with hers. I do not see him go the following year to quickly rejoin her. The house is graying now, dark rooms and empty, ghostly peace, laughter's echo rules. Memories whisper, ease our pain of loss. Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
And in my book, I Dream of Amherst, is a rose that figures prominently in the plot of the book. So I wrote this poem based on a picture that I sold for $150 called Oh My Blessed Heavenly Rose. Oh my blessed heavenly rose so pure, the essence of your sweet perfume invigorates my very breath reverently. Your face is wreathed by the healthy vine. The blonde curls of your lovely hair frame your beauteous face so fair. Your eyes of deep blue mirror the night. Your cherry red lips form a beckoning kiss. The tender melons of your sweet breasts are framed by the finest pink chiffon. I see your lovely nipples within sheer fabric like dainty buttons popping through. Light blue miniskirt frames your saucy hips. Your knees poke beneath the short hem. Your lanky legs encased in white pantyhose. I am enthralled by the thin, willowy form. Your entire figure is shaped like an hourglass. I count the time that I'm lucky to have you as my closest friend and my truest lover. The sands of time flow too quickly for us two. I love your slender bare back beneath the cloth. Its curve sends me to the heaven of true wonder. I want to know you from your head to your toes. Your body's bouquet intoxicates my senses. Drinking in the heady wine of your love for me causes my every nerve to tingle with their desire. My eyes are the lenses of my entire soul that takes a photograph of every inch of your form. I memorize everything that I see of you, your hands along your shapely arms, up from your dainty feet to the valley between the supple curve of your legs. Within your treasured cove exudes a fragrance reminding me of the ardent scent of the rose. I bury my face in it, inhaling deeply of its smell. You clasp me fervently and especially tightly. My heart pounds loud within my manly chest. It is echoed by the throbbing of my aching loins. You reach for the length of my tumid manhood. I rise now to get a better purchase of your spot. My heavy rod is quickly enfolded by your purse. My mouth opens wide to encapsulate your tongue. It then wars with mine to my immense delight. We tickle each other's white ivories within. We are two animals maddened with love's desire. Our wild, sweet passion consumes us completely. All too soon, our love is ever so nicely consummated. We are rapidly spent with love's precious satiation. Thank you. Please find this book. It's only $33.99 on Amazon.
Yes, indeed. Mr. McNair, Mr. Alan McNair.
Ladies and gentlemen, let it in. Let the songs of Amarash into your hearts. Better yet, buy them on Amazon. Every monk has to do a little work to get by. That's why even the monks, they still sell beads on the street, you know, books of wisdom. I'm hoping to run into a monk, actually. Summer's the season of monks on the street selling beads, and I'm out of beads. I'm beadless. I don't know what happened to all my beads, but it's weird for me. I need to balance out my left hand. It's not as heavy as my right hand. Who's gonna solve this problem for me? You people don't have any answers for me. Why am I asking you? Putting all my weird problems on you? It's not what you asked for. It's not what you deserve. Anyway, I'm gonna read you a poem in which I put all my weird problems on you. And then a dear friend will close us out with a personal essay. Here's The Prince of Edgebrook, and I hope you enjoy it. The straightforward path is not for me. Oh no, for me it's wrong. I must go where the weird things go, and sing their songs. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure my raps is the coldest. This snack mix really isn't much of a mix. It's mostly goldfish. There's a few things I really need to get from the target, like peach preserves and toast. My flow beats the largest. I'm sitting on a gold throne in the middle of a barren field. I'm sitting on the toilet drinking vodka on ice. Like, Jesus, it's come to this? That summer, I discovered I could describe people with the casual cruelty of a novelist, breaking them down to their irreducible characteristics, the things about themselves they would never be able to change. But I learned that when you hurt someone, and you're paying attention, something changes inside of their face that you wouldn't expect. It's not as much fun as people make it look. You know you're wrong for that one. Now, I don't want to hear no dancing. I don't want to see any singing. You just sit in your corner and think about what you've done. Yes. Come on up. I've got to tell you about it now. Starting trouble in the classroom there, Elroy? Oh, but that's actually a pretty good look. Take it from the Prince of Edgebrook. People want you down where they can step on you, step on your throat. And you were not for licking the boot heel of some vicious old bastard or some horrible old goat. No, you were for better and finer things. In the old world, you must have worn finer silks and finer rings. Let it all burn down. Let them stew in their juices. D dots in your spot. These other white boys useless. Stay in the shade, kids. Everybody righteous is getting took. It's your boy, though. Forget about it. Signed, the Prince of Edgebrook. The Prince of Edgebrook is a bastard. The Prince of Edgebrook hates all the white ethnicities from Albanian on down. The Prince of Edgebrook once shot my goose just for looking at him wrong. It's a goose. It doesn't have any other way to look. You're wild, Prince of Edgebrook. You're wild and you shot my goose. Mr. Randall, did you tell a room full of first years that you were their new poetry teacher and your name was Beef Erickson? Yeah, that sounds like something I would do. But, let it be here noted, I am a-quitting my hangdog ways. Sure as shooting, my thug days is over. I do hereby commit and declare in permanent marker on the side of this old government building. Forever yours, the Prince of Winnetka. Oh, but I'm sick of this awful scene, Anastasia. So while blood's still red and rocks still roll, let's make like an ancient scroll and get forgotten. Let's take us long sabbatical. We'll live by the words of some obscure mystic poet or a crazy far-gone radical. Tomorrow, in the Promised Land, let's lie on rattan rugs on the floor and read serious hardcovers with red and gold on them. Men with hard names like Thurston and Roderick. For the love of God, let's be serious for once, or else forget all our upbringing. Start fires we don't keep track of, walk home naked in the rain, wanton lack of recycling, wearing our faces once and then throwing them away. That's me, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Prince of Edgebrook. That's all I got for you tonight. It's good to be here, and not just because nowhere else will have me, but because you're the best. You're all the best. Ladies and gentlemen, a personal essay from Mr. Gregorio Gomez.
All
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us, and deliver us from evil. The city, golden light, silver streamers, joys, laughter, music, song, all adore the city. The parades, masquerades, the politicians, Christians, all around do-gooders, flash their smiles plus miles of sympathy. A symphony of promises for the unwanted, the unrich, the systematically oppressed, the educationally repressed. The city with modern highways crisscross to your heart, keeping for apart, well, you know who, so that tourists don't have to see terrible housing conditions or neighborhoods in which you know who live. Golden lights, silver streamers makes us all just happy dreamers, taking time to die from our daily misery, surrounded for a night in a deluge of acceptance, a game of pretense. Our pride within our souls is slowly chipped away, away, away until it fades away. The city, impregnated with Mexicanos living in the urban rural barrios, which will no longer be, cease to be barrios. The renovation, rejuvenation is not for them to enjoy, but for the son of the oppressor. No matter. Golden lights, city lights, as a masses are living in your shadow, playing a mythical golf and racquetball in the barrios and ghettos, as a non-colored children grow up in the fantasy of the city. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here this evening. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all out there. We'll be here next Monday. Have yourself a good night and a good celebration or whatever the fuck you're celebrating. Thank you.